Yo, what is up guys, it is iGrindGames here, back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be going over the Fabled Legacy new dungeon called Thundering Peaks. Now this one does look short and very, well, cool, so you know that's always good. Normal, expert and chaos, as per usual, getting more difficult the further you go on. Can't do Halloween mode on this one at the moment for the first week, otherwise that would obviously be too overpowered because you'd be getting way too many items too quickly. But in case you didn't know what the Halloween event was, it was basically you complete dungeons and you get pumpkins, and then you have the option to do an additional boss that gives you 50 pumpkins and more loot. So there's a cosmetic shown on screen, or you can get them and buy them with Robux if you please. But yeah, currently the set I've got right now is some tier 4, tier 3 legs, kind of mid weapon. It's not too great, don't want to upgrade it either because don't really see the point. And then the spells. Now, whether Mage or War is better, I'm not currently too sure yet, because I think that the Mage spell from Insane is further range, but I think they might have nerfed it, or it doesn't do as much damage as this War one, and the War one's pretty good. So I'm not sure, but I have a War ring, and it's kind of an even split I've been seeing, so I guess it's just whatever people drop they use, or whatever secret ring they have, that's probably what they're going to stick with. But yeah, not too sure, but just going to show you a run that I did with some of the people in Abyssal Blades. Hello Amberito was hosting, he's a really good tank healer, and yeah, I do recommend having a healer on this map. It is a very cool dungeon, a very short one, definitely hardcore meta. So yeah, starting off, you start in like this circle place. Now what you want to do for basically the majority of this dungeon is to let the healer go first, taunt and aggro the mobs, then everybody else stays behind and attacks. So you're not really getting hit by anything, and you keep moving forward as a tank to bring the mobs over, and then it's just the first boss just like that. So nothing too difficult, the cycles are pretty good because of the amount of people that we have in the run. And yeah, so the first boss, quite straightforward. It has these semicircle attacks that you just don't want to be in. Try and stick around the middle of the boss, so then you can dodge them, although if you usually do have enough HP to tank a hit or two, usually one, depending on the set, maybe with legendaries more, who knows. But during this part, when the boss is half health, you have one of two options. So either the boss on the screen right now on the left, where you have to go into a green circle, or the one right now where there's a bunch of blue circles, which are a bit annoying because if you're in the middle of them you can't dodge them. So again, a healer would be meta. So after you've killed those, then it gets back to this boss, and it's just the same exact thing, the semicircles going around. Very easy to dodge, but it still keeps you on your toes because you can't just stand still. So yeah, pretty easy. Then you get teleported into the next area, two groups of mobs, one on the left, one on the right. Because the new entrance is on the left after you kill these mobs, it just makes most sense to go to the right, so then you can kill these, and then the tank drags the others over, so the stationary mobs can just get swung at by the DPS. And then we make our way over, again a very cool map, and yeah, so then we kill these guys. So then there's a left like side group of two mobs, and then there's some on the right. Now with the group on the top, like in the middle, the tank can either drag those to the left of the mobs down here, or they can drag them to the right. Realistically it doesn't matter because they get killed either way, it just depends on the preference and if they get dragged, and whatever the raid host decides to do, because they are usually the healer. So yeah, in this case we bring them over, but I have been seeing them bring them to the mobs we just killed, so again it really just depends. So yeah, realistically the taunt just takes all the attacks and they just, you know, eat them up, and everybody else just stays back and doesn't get hit, which is really good considering hardcore is meta and it is very easy to do, so I do recommend you do it. Solo is still possible, I did some before, but it is obviously a lot slower, so a big group is recommended. Now after you kill these mob groups, there are two bosses, one that stays stationary as you'll see, and one that moves. The one that moves you do not want to go anywhere near because the attacks do one shot. I don't know if that's dependent on HP, if you have a lot, whether you'll be able to survive one, I'm not sure, but I've been getting one hit. So with the second boss, they have these red lines. The red lines aren't the same per line, so if you see red on the line ahead of you, when it gets over to the next one you can just walk straight forward because it won't be there, and then it's just cycle and repeat. So obviously the tank keeps it on the left side, so then everyone can focus the right one, and then everybody, once the right one's killed, the red line stop going, and then we get the shield. It does have quite a lot of health, so it's quite a few cycles, but you know, as long as you stay back and you don't trigger it, then there's no issue. It's just using your spells, getting the cycles down. And there is the second and potentially third boss killed, whether you define those as just one boss or two, it's up to you. Now we've got a type of, well, dual stairway. It doesn't really matter which way you go. I usually go right just because it's easier, and then obviously the tank goes ahead and drags them all towards the front, so then nobody gets hit from the back. It's kind of overpowered because a healer is really meta on this dungeon, and you basically can't die as long as you're somewhat dodging. And yeah, this is the last boss already up these stairs, and this boss has two mechanics. The first one is basically just these circles, one from the right, one from the left, and one from the top, and then you just keep hitting them and hitting them and hitting them. And then when it gets to around bottom of half HP, then there's 3 different ones that spawn, and they shoot lines that have been one hitting me, so I'm pretty sure they're a one hit. And if you kill those, then 20% of the boss's health gets killed. So usually if you've got it to about the HP that we've got it right now, it usually does die since it's below 20%. Yeah, that's about it. I do recommend you play it yourselves, because that is obviously the most fun. And yeah, appreciate you watching, like and sub if you did enjoy, and that's been me. Peace.